Science report, South Africa has been placed last out of a report compiled on 148 countries by the World Economic Forum. Now, this, of course, is a report that the Department of Education has disputed. We had the department on the program yesterday. The education system has been placed under serious scrutiny, given that education is important in improving industries and competing vigorously in the global economy, along with creating employment opportunities and an environment that fosters entrepreneurship. Nyathela from Equal Education is in our Cape Town studios to discuss this further. Thank you so very, very much for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having us.
Now, there's been a bit of dispute over the World Economic Forum. We've seen the Department of Basic Education disputing this, but the World Economic Forum standing by what the findings are. How do you feel about this? Do you feel that there's any truth in this?
Well, we think by no means is the World Economic Forum the authority on matters of basic education or anything like that. But we think we can't dismiss the report necessarily. And the reason for this is because we have seen that with other assessments, both regional and international assessments, we have also been sort of lacking in our numeracy levels, particularly with SABC and Pearls and terms. We've seen that we've also been ranked sometimes way below other African countries like Tanzania or Swaziland or Kenya.
So it actually didn't come as a surprise to you when you read the World Economic Forum survey?
Yeah, we think they've said nothing new. Even our own internal assessment, like ANA, was showing shocking results like only 2.3% of the grade 9 learners were getting at least 50% in their assessment on numeracy.
Yeah. When the department was talking to us, they were basically saying that it's only a few people that are surveyed and they're not actually learners. It's more on a corporate level, people in a room taking a survey, and that this is not an adequate reflection of what's going on and that our education system is up to scratch. This is their response. In terms of the practical example of what's going on, can you agree with them? Can you say that we cannot jump to a conclusion like that by just speaking to corporates?
We obviously, like I said when we started, is that we don't think that it's an official authority and that we can think that it's certain and it's true in the way that it's reflected. But we think that there's definitely indications that there's a problem, and we can't be so defensive when there's been other assessments that have been telling us that we do have a problem with our numeracy levels. For example, with the SABC report, it was showing that at a functional numeracy level, I think there's just under 40% of learners that are in grade 6 that have functional numeracy. Yeah. This is just learners that can read data from numbers that they see or decipher information. So there is a problem. We can't just dismiss it entirely.
Yeah. All right. I think that's really been the response from most people, is that you cannot just dismiss it. We need to look into it deeper. So let's look into it. What do you believe are the major challenges when it comes to maths and science here in South Africa? We inclined to believe that, for example, with the NIDA report, it showed that there's a gap in content knowledge. The SABC report also looked into the teacher content knowledge, and we think that our basic focus and our main focus should be on teacher training, because I mean there's a direct sort of outcome in the quality of education has a direct sort of relation to the teacher knowledge and teacher training, and the quality of teachers that are in our schools. That's one of the issues I wanted to bring up with, because I think a lot of people are saying that teachers in primary and high school are not properly trained in these areas. This obviously has a massive impact on students that are studying this, and then of course when you move into tertiary education, they don't bode too well or perform too well moving in these different areas.
We always have to be very careful when we speak about teachers and the teachers in our schools, because actually I think there's what the department was saying is that at least over 90% of them have a qualification, are qualified to teach. And basically we need to look further into, when we say the gap in content knowledge, is that do they know what they should be teaching?
is there more training? Is there training to bridge that gap? We're not saying they're unqualified, and I think we must say that we don't think our teachers are unqualified, but we need to put in a bit extra effort. So they need to be knowing more about the content and what they're teaching, and we're bridging that gap.
Let's talk about the actual pass rate. When you're writing matric and there is the pass rate for mathematics and science, what is the actual pass rate? Figures of 33.3%, 30% are being bandied about, but the department spokesperson was saying 50% and 40% is an actual pass rate. What is the pass rate through your understanding?
The department has an accurate pass rate holistically, so they can say that there is about 40-50% pass rate in maths. But we think those statistics also sort of cover inequality, because we need a disaggregate a pass rate that shows, for example, where is that pass rate coming from. For example, we know that in that pass rate, probably most of it is from former Model C schools and probably even private schools, and the least people that are passing maths and science are in our rural schools and township schools.
Yeah. What is an actual pass rate, just before I let you go, in mathematics and science for an individual student to have passed that subject in matric? What do they have to achieve?
Oh, if they have to pass their matric, they have to have achieved 40%.
I beg your pardon, they have to have?
40%.
Okay, so it is a 40% pass rate, because that was causing a lot of debate yesterday whether or not it was 30% or 33%. So it is 40% in order to pass maths or science here in South Africa, which again is a little bit low when one has to move forward into the working environment.
Yeah, we haven't done very close looking at whether that 40% will automatically indicate that learners can't do well. For example, some, when they go to tertiary education, are able to contend very well with their higher education mathematics. I think we need more thorough study needs to go into that 40%. We don't want to make outrageous claims like 40% is low, that means that our learners are below average, etc. Not all learners are starting at the same starting line.
Yeah.
We need to take that into consideration.
All right, thank you for talking to us, taking that issue further. Nombulelo Nyathela, who is a spokesperson for Equal Education, talking to us about this report saying that South Africa is at the bottom of a list of 148 countries when it comes to maths and science. That's the World Economic Forum report.